Now, police are investigating after the Guardian journalist Owen Jones was kicked in the head by a group of men outside a pub. Mr Jones said he'd been celebrating his birthday with friends when the men made a direct beeline for him in the early hours of yesterday morning. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said an attack on a journalist was an attack on free speech and our fundamental values. The Metropolitan Police say it's working to establish the full circumstances. Well, Owen Jones is with me now. Owen, thanks for coming in to talk about this. Just in terms of what happened, this is the early hours of yesterday morning, so you've been out for the evening. How were you approached by these men?
So we'd gone for a nightcap in the pub. So we left, about 6 of us. In fact, there were 6 of us at 3 in the morning, and we were about 30 metres away. And I didn't see this because I had my back to the pub, but what happened was 3 to 4 men charged out of the pub, made a direct beeline for me, so they didn't attack any of my friends, kicked me in the back, threw me on the floor, and kicked me in the head and in the back. And my friends tried to wrestle them off and were all punched in the melee, and then they kind of scarpered off. Right. But there's no question whatsoever that it was me they were after. There was 6 of us standing there together.
But they went straight for you.
Exactly.
Certainly that's what your friends saw.
I was their target.
Yeah.
And the context of this is, and it's very important, this isn't just about me, by the way, but I've been on the receiving end of increasing far-right attacks over the last year. James Goddard, the far-right thug, followers of Tommy Robinson, so-called the convicted thug.
For the EDL.
Of the far-right thug. In the street, so I've previously had people trying to punch me, spat down my face, yelling homophobic abuse. A few weeks ago, another far-right figure took pictures of me in a pub and posted online messages and a video along the lines of, "I know where you are, we can always find you, we will get you." Unfortunately, for my friends, this was a case of, this is terrible, but this was going to happen. Yeah. And I think what's very important too is to understand that, I'm this white guy with a media platform. There are people out there, members of minorities in particular, who are being targeted and physically attacked. There is a rise of an increasingly violent far right in British society and abroad, which feels emboldened, which is increasingly violent. We've had the murder of a Labour MP, the attempted Joe Cox by a far right terrorist, another Labour MP Rosie Cooper, an attempted far-right terrorist attack on her. We had Darren Osborne, a far-right terrorist, who ploughed into a mosque. He said he wanted to kill Jeremy Corbyn and Sadiq Khan, and growing far-right terror plots. So, for me, the context of, certainly in terms of, for me, it seems unthinkable this was anything other than politically motivated. But we have to talk about it more broadly.
Just in terms of what happened yesterday morning, though, they didn't say anything to you. You can remember.
It's very difficult when you're suddenly on the floor being kicked in the head. I've had evidence since, which I can't discuss.
Right. But you talked to the police about it.
Which suggests, I can't talk about it, but which suggests political motivations.
Right, okay. But the broader sense you have is that you have been aware of a growing tendency to threaten violence, and then also this is the kind of the reality. Follow-up.
We should just be honest about it. We live in a society where on the front pages of newspapers you have things like enemies of the people, traitors, saboteurs. That's how people are discussed in politics. Where we have minorities having hatred whipped up against them, unfortunately by mainstream politicians, the President of the United States being a striking example, but also members of the British political elite as well. And what that does is fuel and embolden far-right thugs. They feel legitimised and emboldened by a wider context of the whipping up of hatred against minorities, but also against people on the political left, for example, who are seen as traitors. When I was attacked earlier this year by James Goddard and others, they were yelling at things at me which were factually wrong, like Hamas lover, Hezbollah lover. Well, they've read that kind of stuff in the media. That's how people of my politics are described. So I just think we need to talk. When we talk about Islamic fundamentalism, we ask, who are the hate preachers radicalising these people? And the truth is, we have hate preachers in mainstream media outlets who are, and they are often mainstream media outlets, who are helping to radicalise and legitimise this rising threat, which we have to take seriously.
Owen Jones, thank you very much.